Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Welcome to the KZGN News.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
In our lead story, last Friday during the Outlook Conference, Captain Richard Wiley, Commanding Officer of the Naval Air Weapons Station, gave an excellent overview of China Lake facilities and how they support all the tenants on the center. There are over 14 tenants, plus 8,000 civilian and 1,000 military workers. And then Naval Air Warfare Center Executive Director Scott O'Neill gave a full update on how things are going on the base for weapons development. He emphasized that the base is doing well and they continue to hire new engineers and scientists. In 2014, the base hired about 400 new engineers. The hiring goal for 2015 is 600 new employees. He emphasized how important it is to hire these new engineers right out of college. He gave one example how the well-established engineers take in and train the new ones. His story in brief tells how the Secretary of the Navy said they needed to come up with a quick way to develop and deploy a new anti-ship weapon. Usually a task like this takes years to design, build, test, and deploy. Sometimes taking 10 years or more is normal. Instead, Scott handed off the task to 4 senior NOC engineers and 14 new engineers. Within 3 months, they took existing weapons and modified them to what was needed. And in January, they successfully proved the project by a real-time test launch and destruction of a ship at sea. According to the requirements, took only 4 months from concept definition to ready for deployment. This is what China Lake is known for. This is how they train new engineers. Here's a video. Now in local news, a new federal requirement for sanitation of our food before it is purchased in stores has gone into effect. According to Abundant Harvest Organics founder Vernon Peterson, the Food Safety Modernization Act forces farmers to deliver sterile wholesale products. I'm done fighting it, but you just can't kill pathogens. If you kill pathogens, you kill everything. Safe food doesn't mean sterile food, Vernon said. Food safety has everything to do with proper handling, including proper washing of hands after visits to the bathroom, care to not sneeze and cough on the foods, and diligence to maintain clean utensils and countertops when preparing foods. The last couple weeks has been like trying to stand in front of a steamroller. He confirmed that the Abundant Harvest product delivered from farm to the Ridgecrest consumer will not be bleached, but wholesale products will be bleached and tested. Regarding the current product testing being 99.99% sterile, Peterson said, "We're the only civilized country in the world without tolerance. In England, Australia, France, there's an allowable amount of E. coli, Listeria, and all other pathogens we've heard of, and every other country has a tolerance for this." Now, when the wholesale product leaves Abundant Harvest Organics, the product must be proven sterile. Because our bodies are biological and not sterile chemical environment, healthy bodies are designed to fight off pathogens. We make sure that there are 0 pathogens of wholesale shipped. Vernon said the process of sterilizing the products involves using sodium bicarbonate, chlorine, and ozonating the product. Abundant Harvest Organics is a community-supported agriculture, so if the product comes straight from the farm to us, then the sterilization requirement doesn't apply. But when the food is sent through wholesale distribution, the sterilization requirement does apply. Please stay with us. When we come back, we will have a stock report and my editorial. Welcome back. In today's stock market news, the markets are going just like I said they would yesterday. As of today, they're still running fairly flat and not moving very much at all. Dow Jones is trading down just slightly at 0.49 and sitting at 18198. The NASDAQ is trading just slightly down at 0.59 and sitting at 4978. And finally, the S&P is just slightly down at 0.49 and currently at 2107. So the market is flat, just as I expected. And now the 25th KZGN Talking Points editorial. Today's topic, and I can't even believe this needs to be discussed, are we really now making stadium construction decisions with worries of terrorist attacks? In the last few weeks, there have been quite a few reports of 2 possible stadium construction projects in the Los Angeles area. I might add that these rumors have been going on for years now. Except now there are 2 potential projects. There seems to be more activity. The one project is rumored to be associated with the Rams building a new stadium on the old Hollywood horse racing track in Inglewood, and another one involving the Chargers and Raiders in the Carson area of Los Angeles. But in a report put out by AEG, they cited a conclusion from ex-Homeland Security Chief Tom Ridge, who found the $2 billion project would offer up a terrorist event twofer because of its proximity to Los Angeles International Airport. Ridge found terrorists could try to shoot down a plane from the stadium's location or attempt to crash a jet into the stadium. Either case, he said, would have a significant risk profile with the potential to produce consequences that will not only impact the airport and region, but global interest. Okay, you heard me right. Ridge thinks the location is bad due to potential terrorist attack. Are you kidding me? Are we now at the point where we have to consider these terrorists even in the locations of a new stadium? And these conclusions come from a former Obama administration high official. That in itself should add considerable merit to the conclusion. I'm appalled. But wait, let's look at this a little further. Here's a report with this finding, but it just so happens the report was generated by the firm supporting the Charger Raider Stadium project. So the firm that is supporting the opposing project was hired to provide a location analysis of their competing project. Wow. Who was behind that sharp decision? Well, it seems like there may be some reasonable conclusions, though. The NFL has stated they probably won't even consider such analysis any decision-making on the 2 opposing projects. NFL Senior Vice President Eric Grubman told the LA Times, "You should just assume the NFL has its own experts hired and at work to assess any potential NFL site in any city regarding these matters, and that is that advice that they will rely on." In another voice of reason, the city of Los Angeles already approved Kroenke's proposal on Tuesday. So finally it appears that this recommendation is going to be dismissed. Personally, I think it should be thrown in the trash can. This is pure lunacy. Even though the writer may not be impartial, or may be impartial, the overtone of even considering the terrorists in analysis like this is crazy. Does he realize how much he has legitimized the terrorists by making a recommendation like that? That a supposed intelligent man that dealt with the terrorist threat daily when he was head of the Department of Homeland Security would not understand what his conclusion would do? So we have a former President Obama administrator worrying about terror attacks now, and the Obama administration still sees them as amateurs. Small groups of insignificant, misguided people. Well, it's been 20 years since the NFL left the Los Angeles market. I would certainly like to see any team come to LA. But don't laugh at me too hard, because I'm a San Francisco and, get ready, a Cleveland Browns fan. Yes, I admit it, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Being born and raised in Cleveland, you learn dedication and loyalty to your team, not unlike most other cities that host a major league team. The problem Cleveland has is, while it really has some very good teams over the years, they just can't seem to make it to the final big game, let alone win the big game. Oh, by the way, I'd like to tell Mr. Ridge that over the last few years, Cleveland has built new stadiums, both for the Browns and the Indians, all in the approach area of major airports. Finally, let's not let these terrorists affect our way of life so much. If these guys want to attack, like many people think is going to happen anytime, they will attack. This is a free country. They can sneak across our border from the south anytime they want. Then they can just take their time and get ready for their big day. In conclusion, let's bring the NFL back to LA. It's time. And the heck with the study that purports that we should be deciding the location based on fear of terrorist attack. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. When we come back, we'll have weather and sports report. Stay tuned.
And a very pleasant Tuesday afternoon to everybody. Let's start locally. It'll be Burroughs High School softball opening up their season today. They'll be at home. Game time is this afternoon at 4 o'clock. It'll be Tehachapi and the Burroughs going at it. It'll be a JV game also. So 2 games going on at once. Come on out and support Burroughs softball. All right, Saracoso baseball back in action this Thursday. They'll be here against Rio Hondo. Start time is 2 o'clock. From the NBA last night, the Raptors beat the Sixers 114-103. The Heat get a win over the Suns, 113-93 in Miami. Now the Phoenix Suns have spiraled. Right now, if the playoffs started, they would not get in. There's still 5 games over 500, but they have lost now 11 of their last 14 games. So what that means is that the Phoenix Suns are now in the number 10 spot. And the Spurs and the Thunder have the 2 last spots in the West. That's how good the West is. You've got the defending champions in the number 7 spot. All right, the Clippers are playing great basketball. They beat the Wolves last night in Minneapolis, 110-105. That is their 9th straight win. That's a franchise record. And Blake Griffin could very well be back this coming week. Now, he's been out with that elbow injury. Chris Paul had 26 points last night, 14 assists in the win. Also, Brooklyn upsets the Warriors 110-108 back in Brooklyn. Okay, let's talk about the Bulls. Jimmy Butler, one of their star scorers right now, will be out for 3 to 6 weeks with an elbow problem. And the Lakers had won 3 games in a row, which is their longest winning streak in the last 2 years, before they were defeated Sunday night by Oklahoma City. That game over at Oklahoma City now. Their next game will be Wednesday down in Miami. So let's hope the Lakers can, get a little momentum going for next year. Byron Scott, give him some confidence and get this show on the road again, get the Lakers competitive. All right, that game Sunday against Oklahoma, they did not even have Russell Westbrook, Oklahoma City. So they're right now in that 8th spot. So they have to win games to get in the playoffs. But if they get healthy, they're as good as anybody. Okay, let's talk about NCAA basketball. Kentucky now 28-0. They play tonight against Georgia, going for number 29. They have a couple more games left, and they'll be in that SEC tournament. If they go undefeated in that and also go undefeated in the NCAA, they'll be 40-0 on the year. Incredible. Virginia, a winner last night. They beat Syracuse. Virginia now has won 2 straight ACC titles. They haven't done that in 20 years. Texas beats Baylor 61-59. That's 2 top 20 teams. They had 4 players from Texas ejected, 3 players from Baylor ejected in the overtime, of all things. All right, number 17, Iowa State beats Oklahoma 77-70, that game in Ames, Iowa. 14, Boston College beats Virginia Tech. And UConn finally getting on track. They defeat South Florida 88-52. Okay, let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. They've made a statement. They have open dialogue now with Adrian Peterson, and they have once again said they really want him back. So it appears that the Vikings really do want Adrian Peterson back. We'll see what the league says about that. All right, this from Anthony Barnes. He's the head cross-country coach and track coach at Burroughs High School. And he reports in that the boys' varsity shot put team of Tyler Moulton, Alex Rockwell, and Tyler Lopez took first place in the unique relays meet. Their top marks were combined as a throwing relay. The Burroughs team came out on top of any other team. The The same three combined their efforts to a third-place finish in the discus. So not only are they good in the shot put, but also the discus. So these guys are pretty talented. The Lady Burros throwers also fared well with the third in the Frosh soft disc. Darlene Lopez, Tawny Matlock, and Mackenzie Brannon all were recognized as doing very, very well. And others faring well included Ashley Ayers. She had a fourth-place finish in the girls' varsity 100-meter dash. And Joe Humphreys had a fifth-place finish in the boys' varsity pole vault at 12 feet. As a whole, the teams did well in their first meet of the season, featuring one of the best programs in the state, Great Oak High School, and the favored team to win the Mojave River League, Serrano High School. The boys' varsity placed 8th of the 16 teams in attendance. The girls' varsity finished 11th. Meanwhile, the boys and girls fry soft teams placed 12th and 10th, respectively. So that from Anthony Barnes. Good job, guys, out in track and field. Give us more of your information. We'll be glad to share it with everybody else. Stay tuned on Tuesday night. We'll have Robert Campbell coming up on our Ridgecrest Talk for KZGN on this Tuesday afternoon. I am Tom Heck for Sports.
Good evening, and on our national map, as you can see here, weather that we had this past weekend has moved far off to the east. New York is getting socked in with snow, rain, all the fun good stuff. Closer to home, again, we don't see anything coming in. All that stuff that we've just had just recently is moving off to the east. For our 7-day, tonight will be mostly clear with a low around 41, east wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday will be sunny with a high near 64. Again, south wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night will be clear with a low around 40 degrees, east-southeast wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 67, west-southwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 41. Friday, we can expect sunny with a high near 71, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Friday evening, mostly clear with a low around 42 degrees, east-northeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming northwest in the evening. And we have a viewer submission. This is Sophie the Boxer, lovely playing around yesterday in the nice sun after all that nice storm that we had. If you would like to send us a picture or a video, please send it to info@kzgn.net. And now, back to your news.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only community TV station.